episode 3784, Do Unto Your Spouse.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. How are you doing this weekend? It's Relationship Builders, and I know you've got a lot of plans, so guess what? You better make up with your buttercup. Yeah, it's all about relationship builders, and I want you to fall back in love with the one you're sleeping with. Do unto your spouse. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Okay, do you remember the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? You're like, yeah, I've heard that before, no big deal. It's that timeless guide for human interaction. I get it, I got it. But what would happen if you truly applied this rule to your marriage? Do unto your spouse as you would have them do unto you. Well, most couples don't use the golden rule. Nope. Instead, they get trapped in the cycle of criticism, carefully cataloging each other's flaws, convinced the other needs to change first. It's like they have this library of, you did it wrong. Dun, dun, dun. Seriously, I mean, that's what it is. And you so quickly go to it. If something happens like, well, back in 2002 on May, you did this to me. Really? That's what you remember? What about when I sacrificed this, or I did this for you, or we went out doing this together? What is it? Because if we're always focusing on the negative, if we're always cataloging every single flaw, I mean, truly, it's a love deficit that grows until both partners feel unappreciated and disconnected, and you wonder why marriage doesn't work. And don't assume that age brings change. Don't say, it's just going to get better when we get older. We'll get through this. It's just a phase. Decades often only deepen old patterns because comfort with fault finding feels safer than risky vulnerability. You don't want to give anything up if you don't have to. So let me ask it to you straight out here. What are you doing for your spouse lately? Are you focusing on where they fall short? Or are you tuned into what they do right? And if you're honest, the answer probably clings to the negatives more than the positives. Oh, my friend, it's time for a shift in your marriage. If you want to grow deeper, you got to get on the golden rule train for marriage and make it the golden rule your marriage lives and breathes. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Get on the golden rule train. Seriously, my grandson absolutely loves and adores choo-choo trains. And I don't know what it is about trains, but trains just make me feel young again. I don't care if it's watching him go by and carry all the cargo, and I might be sitting at the railroad tracks, or I'm driving down the highway and we've got another train coming next to us, or maybe it's just sitting there in this humongous hotel in Dallas watching the train go by that they have out there. Oh my goodness, it's extraordinary. It's gorgeous. What is it for you? What do trains do for you? Hopefully it brings up this kind of adventure within that says, what's around the corner? Because on a train, you can see what's around the corner. On a plane, you can't. The train bends, and all of a sudden it's like you see this, and all of a sudden you see that, and you're like, oh, wow. It's totally eye-opening. So I wanted to take the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and change it to do unto your spouse as you would have your spouse do unto you, right? And I think it's important for us to look at what are we doing? How are we serving? Are we loving the best way we know how? Because honestly, we fall so flat on that. We do. I think we're just kind of being haphazard about it. It's like, nah, well, this is good enough for today. Good enough for today will be failure into years, maybe. Could be months. It depends on how your bank account is for love. What does your love bank account look like? Is it strong? Is it robust? Or is it in the red? Are you just kind of sitting there in the negative going, yeah, well, I'm barely squeezing anything out of it. We're always mad at each other. We just kind of are like a partner. We show up in the same house, but we really don't do anything. My friend, it doesn't have to be that way. You can get on the golden rule train and change your marriage. What does that look like? Well, let's go over it. GOLDEN. The first one, G. Gratitude. Catch your spouse doing something right. Stop looking for the wrong stuff. Even the small stuff can be amazing. And say it out loud. Thanks, babe, for doing the trash. Thanks, babe, for changing the batteries in that crazy fire alarm that keeps chirping all the time. Gratitude rewires your brain to look for good, not gaps. And most of the time, we're looking for the holes. You missed that. No, that's not fair. That's not right. That's not love. G for gratitude. How about O? Open-hearted listening. Put your defenses down. Listen not to respond, but to understand where your spouse is coming from without judgment. This could mean that you're listening to their feelings, you're listening to a story, you're engaged. Guys, I'm here to tell you, women love to talk. And if they don't, well, they kind of do in their own way. But seriously, we're chit-chatters. We are. We're chatterboxes, and that's okay. We'll tell you the story, and then we'll tell you it again in another way, and we'll tell you it again in another way. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with it is that you don't want to listen to it. Okay? Just as, flip the coin, women, you've got to understand that men aren't going to be all ooey gooey over everything. Their story may be 5 sentences long and not a dissertation. That's okay. Listen for those 5 sentences. Don't respond. Don't critique and be like, well, can't you tell me more? What else happened? What else happened? If that's all that happened, that's all that happened. All right, yeah, you got to see both sides of the coin. I'm telling you. But you got to have that open-hearted listening. No judgment here. None. What about L? Loyalty. Choose to have your spouse's back versus tearing them down in private or public. How many times have you gone to a good friend just to bash in your spouse? Just because you can. Because you've had a bad day, you're mad at him. You're like, I'm done with you. So you call him up, or maybe you actually go out for coffee or whatever it is. And next thing you know, you're like, oh man, I cannot even believe I married him. Right now, I'm not saying, understand this here. If you're one who says, but Christiane, what if I'm needing help, but I'm actually going to talk to someone like a coach or a counselor, I'm a pastor, I'm getting help. That's a different conversation, okay? You're not bashing. You're sharing the facts and how it affects you and your feelings. So that's different. So make sure you have that distinguished definition there so you understand what we mean. When you're tearing your spouse down, you're talking bad. Okay? You just don't care sometimes. If you don't care, then why are you married? Maybe that is something that needs to be thought about. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go do something drastic. No. What I'm encouraging you to do is to be honest as to where you are in your marriage. What about the letter D? Daily acts of kindness. Small gestures, making coffee, maybe sending out a thoughtful text, or simply sharing a smile, pile up into a mountain of care. Your spouse needs to know that you care for them. Be kind to them. Now, there's a time to push their buttons. I get it. My husband does it to me. I do it to him. Okay. But there's a time and a place. Every single moment you have a conversation is not the time and place. That's called a pattern. That's called a problem. And when you have a problem, there's no passion. So you've got to be in your marriage and come from a kind heart. Are you doing it? So we've got GOLD. What about E? Empathy. Step into their shoes and feel what they feel. Even if you disagree, acknowledge their experience as valid. You don't need to judge them to appreciate where they're coming from and having that empathy. And a lot of times what happens is we get caught up in, wait, I got to get my 2 cents in, and we haven't listened. So we're already finishing their own sentences, what we think they're going to say. And now they're on mute and you're sitting there going, I'm formulating my sentence. This is what I'm going to say. And the next thing you know, there's a breath and you interrupt. And the story's not over yet. That's not empathy. That's being rude. Step into your spouse's shoes and really ask yourself, what can I do here? How can I serve them? Make sure you understand where they're coming from. Maybe there's something going on at work and you really don't understand exactly the project or all the details. That doesn't mean you can't empathize with them. Listen, be open, understand, even if you disagree. They're your spouse. They need to be heard. And then finally, the N, kicking it and rounding it off. Nurture your bond. Invest time and energy intentionally in your relationship. Love is a verb, and it demands action every single day. Every single day. You just can't say, I feel like doing it today. No, too tired. Yep, don't want to do it. Now, I get it. Sometimes you're in a season where it's like, okay, for us, it's moving. Moving seasons are not fun. And somehow you get through them. But you also know that that season's going to come to an end quickly. So you can have some appreciation for where you are, and you can accept where you are without being harsh to each other, right? So you got to put things in perspective when you look at life across the board in your marriage. But if you take this golden rule for marriage, it allows you to say, okay, maybe it's not about what can I win from this relationship, but how can I serve the person I chose? Remember, you said I do. You weren't forced to. You agreed to this. You committed to it. You said vows. So you've got to be in it to win it. But who are you winning it for? Is it for your spouse or is it for yourself? My friend, marriage isn't a scoreboard. It's a shared project requiring sacrifice, patience, and consistent effort. It's a beautiful gift that opens the door to a kind, deeper love. One that doesn't wait for perfection, but chooses connection in spite of the flaws, in spite of the failures, in spite of the mistakes. So today I challenge you. Will you join the few who dare to love differently by doing unto your spouse with care, respect, and kindness you wish to receive? Are you willing to take that pledge right now? Think about it before you jump. I mean, I want you to jump, but I want you to be real and honest about it, because if there's a hesitation, then there's other things deeper. And we need to go a different direction first before you can get to this point. So don't become flustered if you're like, no, I can't do it. I don't have the capacity. It's not the season I'm in. Now, if you're just being stubborn, that's also for another story, right? Stop it. Everybody can be stubborn. The golden rule for your marriage will help create this deeper meaning in your life. And you might actually learn who you're sleeping with. Wouldn't that be amazing? Make a shift in your marriage. Actually look for the goodness, for the golden, right? the golden nuggets in your marriage. I promise you, if you look for them, you'll find them. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.